Hello guys. So how do you beat the threat that killed the domain using only Grendels? It turns out a lot of kamikaze attacks are involved. So today we're going to be trying to beat a 3 fabricator fleet. You see there's 3 of them, those big sort of boss ships. And we're going to do it using only 6 Grendels, 2 Grendels per fabricator. And this is actually feasible. I've been fighting the threat for a while. If you don't know, the threat was the new enemy that was added in the recent Star Sector patch. It's actually one of 2 new enemies, but we'll save the other one for another day. I think this one is actually the more difficult of the 2. So there's a very specific strategy you must employ, at least when you're using Grendels. I don't know about other fleets, but when you're using Grendels against the threat, what you need to do is spread out all your Grendels and capture as many nodes as possible. And this seems to trigger the enemy fleet to send out roughly half of their ships to try and recapture the nodes that you've captured. And that makes the fabricators in the back, those big ships that you see now, vulnerable. And we're going to seize on that vulnerability, obviously. Now, if you don't spread your ships out like this, the enemy fleet will remain clustered around those fabricators, and it makes it almost impossible to win. There's essentially nothing you can do, even with significantly more Grendels than this. I was actually having a lot of trouble fighting these threat fleets until I realized that if you order the rest of your fleet to essentially preoccupy the other half of the enemy fleet, and then you yourself go and attack the fabricators, you get really good value out of your ships. And that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to try to take down all 3 of these fabricators on our own, while the rest of our fleet is keeping, you know, the main bulk of their fleet busy. And I'm actually using the in-fabrication ship as cover right there, you see? The one being fabricated to the right of me. I've also ordered a Grendel to come and support me and drag these other 2 ships away from me so that I can do my work of destroying these fabricators. If you order another Grendel to help you destroy the fabricators, it doesn't really help because they don't tend to attack the exact same spot on the armor, so they have to strip the armor on their side, and just they end up kind of, you know, not being a super big help. They're much more valuable if you let them distract the rest of the enemy fleet. We have quite some work set out ahead of us. I mean, these are big, heavy, chunky ships with tons of hull, and we are rapidly running out of hull ourselves. Our armor is totally gone. Everything is doing hull damage now. We are repairing a bit of it, but yeah. We're gonna comfortably get rid of this fabricator, it looks like. It will probably be around half hull by the time we're done. And we're gonna have to really think about how we can take down this other fabricator who's completely fresh. He's not even fluxed out. It looks like the rest of our fleet is doing decently. They do have reinforcements coming in, so I need to hurry up and finish this, or else we're going to get completely mobbed. I really can't afford to even use Phase Cloak too much. I mean, I have to lay out the maximum DPS possible right now. You can see those 2 carriers coming in. Those are going to start really laying into me. It's quite a nightmare situation. If I had 1 more Grendel, this would be quite a comfortable fight, honestly. But the fact that I'm doing it with 6, I see an opportunity here, and I'm going to Grendel bomb. There we go. So if you don't know, Grendel bombing is a very good strategy if you're using a Grendel fleet, because you can always recover Grendels after they've been destroyed. You essentially lose nothing by Grendel bombing. If your Grendel is already low, that is, you basically just get the maximum value possible out of it by using it as a bomb. It also has other benefits that are not immediately obvious, like if you Grendel bomb in the middle of an enemy fleet, not only will you damage multiple enemy ships, but you'll also leave your husk behind, and it blocks the enemy sightlines. They can't shoot through your husk. So that's very nice as well. So it looks like we've already won and we're on cleanup duty here, but they've actually been reinforcing ships this whole time, and they're coming in with some really heavy hitters. You can see that ship in front of me right there. They have very serious anti-armor weaponry. That particular ship is the one on the threat that you need to worry about getting hit by the most. This one, the line ship, it's not that dangerous in terms of weaponry, but it has tons and tons of health. It's as hard to kill as a fabricator, essentially. These things are super, super tanky. You really need 2 Grendels shooting one at the same time. Looks like some of my Grendels are having real trouble with fighters. Obviously, fighters are pretty good against phase ships. You have to play with a balance of ordering your Grendels to attack ships sometimes so that they will ignore fighters, but if you completely ignore the fighters, they can also be bad. I'm probably gonna have to Grendel bomb again here. My hull is getting extremely low, and I think they have even more reinforcements that we haven't seen yet. So this is actually still losable. You can see there's tons of fighters up as well. Those are actually EMPing me, but the Grendel is naturally resistant to EMP. It has a built-in hull mod called the Distributed Fire System that gives 50% EMP resistance, and it also makes the weapons on the Grendel have more health. So we're gonna Grendel bomb this guy. We're very low. We'll just get behind him so that his shield doesn't take it. I think we'll be able to destroy him using it. He does have a lot of HP, but I think one Grendel bomb will do it. Yeah, there we go. One Grendel bomb and a little bit of assault chain gun. So the process of transferring your command using the shuttle, it's kind of clumsy, and it's made me realize there's probably a benefit in these small Grendel fleets of putting neural interface on all of the Grendels, and that way whenever you Grendel bomb, you can immediately transfer to another Grendel. There's no latency involved with sending a shuttle to transfer your command. I think that would be one possible improvement to this fleet. I would have to think about how to fit neural interface onto it without compromising on speed or firepower. I've also been thinking about tactics to improve the efficiency of Grendel bombing. Basically, if you're able to contain the enemy fleet and make them cluster up, like for example you saw in my Hegemony Homeworld Armada video, if you can contain the enemy fleet, putting a Grendel bomb right in the center of them would inflict a lot more damage because you're hitting multiple enemy ships, obviously. I go ahead and Grendel bomb one last time to get rid of that guy. We do have enough Grendels that we should comfortably win this. I'm still going to transfer my command and personally see to it that we win, but they are reinforcing more heavy ships. I mean, they're not done. This is a really big threat fleet. 3 fabricators is a real problem for any fleet in the game. So many things will get wrecked by even 2 fabricators, let alone 3. One other possible strategy I was thinking of would be to get a bunch of Grendels with D mods, because that decreases their deployment cost, and basically feed them to the enemy fabricators, because fabricators, they take combat readiness loss every time they fabricate a ship. So if you feed a bunch of Grendels to the enemy fabricators, their combat readiness will eventually reach 0 and they will self-destruct. That would be a kind of novel way to deal with the threat, I suppose. Basically overfeeding them. That's something I could try in a future video. It would be pretty interesting. But for now, Grendel bombing seems to be the most efficient strategy that I've found. It really is the best way to get rid of these super tanky, heavy hull ships. You know, they say that the Onslaught Mark 1 is the best ship for defeating the threat, but actually it turns out it's the Grendel, I think. I think if the domain had more Grendels, they would have survived. The threat wouldn't have taken them out. Well, that is just an assumption. I don't think anybody actually knows exactly why the domain collapsed. It was probably AI related, but... Alright, so there we go. 6 Grendels versus 3 fabricators. We're going to get all our Grendels back, every one we used as a bomb. And we'll get so much fuel and supplies that we'll be good for, plenty more time out here in the Abyss. You can live out here permanently in Grendels. they're so cheap to repair that you profit thousands in supplies every time. But yeah, follow if you want to see more Grendel sector, and till next time, bye bye.